Alright. Sony is making good moves, guys. That's what we need to see. What's going on, my peeps and man, Versatiles? Back with another video. Back here to talk about Sony basically walking back, closing down the PS3 virtual store for the sake of legacy, we would hope. And what that kind of means in terms of what Sony seems like they're trying to do, despite what seems to be the case. I know that sounds confusing, but before we get into the video, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss my videos. Then we can sit back, chillax, and see what's cracking. Now let's get into the video. So yes, as we know, Sony pushed not that long ago that they were planning on closing down some of their stores on the PSN, probably because not a lot of people either may not have been buying enough games to justify the cost to maintain those stores, or just for the sake of moving on to the next generation. We know that the difference between Sony and Xbox basically is one, I wouldn't say cares, but one really appreciates the legacy, what was before, and that's Xbox, as we see with Game Pass, and a lot of the games getting, if not smart delivery, being on Game Pass, a lot of old games. Whereas PlayStation, who arguably has the better game collection, game catalog, dating back to the PlayStation and PlayStation 2, and even PlayStation 3, and of course PlayStation 4, we see that Sony seems like they're not as concerned with legacy, they're more concerned with the current generation. Not to say that's a bad thing per se, but we have a lot of people who may not have a PS4 still, which is a little hard to argue. But we certainly have people that don't have the PS5 yet, and a lot of people still play on the PS3. A lot of people still play on their older generation consoles. So to see that Sony saw that that was a bad decision, especially the outcry from us as game fans, you know, putting out there that that's probably not a good idea, Sony walked that back and will be maintaining the PS3 store. That's a good thing. Now, why do I think this could be a bit concerning for Sony? That's because the other news that we know of about some of Sony's, you know, upcoming moves is remastering The Last of Us 1. Yes, the game that came out 8 years ago that had a remaster is now getting remade. So The Last of Us Remake will be coming out here probably within the next year or two. Now, as gaming fans, if it's available, will we play it? Of course we will. But I think the problem therein lies Sony is holding on to the big AAA titles and not really expanding their portfolio for a lot of the third party or smaller AA, single A games, if you will, indie games that could also still be transformative in the way we play video games. Now, one could argue that Sony is perhaps and possibly taking Nintendo's route, where Nintendo really only makes, you know, 2 or 3 games or a game centered around Mario, right? A lot of the legacy characters, the legacy mascots, if you will, Nintendo focuses on that. Well, Sony and PlayStation may be seeing something similar with Uncharted, with The Last of Us, with Kratos, and really focusing on games around those, including Horizon, since we are getting a sequel. The problem with The Last of Us is it's also getting a TV series, and I guess a rumor was floated out that they might reskin Joel and Ellie to look like, I think it's Pedro Pascal and whoever's playing Ellie in the actual TV show. Bad idea. Although it was much more digestible after you kind of got used to it with the Spider-Man remaster. Don't do that again for such a beloved series and for 2 such beloved characters in your world of gaming, which is Joel and Ellie. So hopefully that's just a rumor and that will get extinguished real quick. But to see them turn around and remake a game they just remastered not that long ago, the only real justification I think a lot of us can see with that is if it's a package deal for the PS5 and with The Last of Us Part 2, all coming out around the time of The Last of Us TV show on HBO Max. That's the only thing I think I can see that being not just profitable, but comfortable, if you will. You know, we supposedly there's an Uncharted game that might still be getting worked on or remastered or remade. And so it's kind of like, okay, can we please get new stuff? Can we expand the universe? We know with Uncharted, they could with, spoiler alert if you haven't played Uncharted 4, Nathan Drake's daughter. You know, they could expand the world there. They expanded the world with Chloe and Nadine. They could expand the world with Sully and Nate's brother, who's Sam. They could expand the world there. Same with Horizon. After Horizon 2, they could expand the world. Looking at God of War, they might be expanding the world with Atreus. We'll see. Expand the world with The Last of Us. It's basically like a better version of The Walking Dead, if you will. And they could easily expand that outside of Joel and Ellie and incorporate more community into that, as opposed to just remaking and remastering the same game over and over and over again. So that's the concerning part. There is not only are they seem to be skeptical with keeping alive Legacy, they're also just overly concerned with blockbuster AAA titles. Not to say that doesn't drive great profit, of course, but us as gamers want to see variety, and when you're not as willing to make risks when it comes to other games outside of that, we can start to suffer from that. And so I think Sony might be making a mistake overly concerning themselves with The Last of Us and Uncharted, unless in its new content like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. That's new content. Maybe we'd like to see Jak and Daxter remade on the PS5. That'll be cool, because that's something we actually haven't seen in a long time. And preferably for me, Jak 2 and Jak 3. And or another Jak game. Revitalize, resurrect Jak and Daxter. If you want to bring some of your old mascots back. You know, develop something new. That's what we want to see. And so with the PS5 and next gen for that matter, you know, even with Xbox, we want to see new stuff take control of this new hardware we have. That one game, Project Athea, they got a new name that I can't think of right now. That looks like that's gonna be good. That game looks good right there. Prometheum looks good. That's coming out in like 2023. Returnal looks like it's gonna be good, coming out later this month, I believe. Like, there are potential games here that could really, hopefully, reshuffle the way Sony might look at these blockbusters. And not to say that blockbusters will, of course, be the same old games that we know of. They'll be like a Returnal or something like that, a new game we haven't heard of, but it's just like massive. But we still want to see emphasis put into, again, fun, and you'll get a lot of that fun with the variety that we have within the indie AA space of video games. But let me know down your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think? Is Sony paying too much attention to The Last of Us? Are you gonna play the remake? Do you think they should care more about legacy and keeping these games alive and thriving for us to play and enjoy and to be nostalgic about? Let me know down in the comment section below. But again, if you haven't already, ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss my videos. And we can sit back, chillax, to see what's cracking. It's your man Versal signing out. And until the next video, wait for it.